Well, hello YouTube, how's it going today? Hopefully everything's going pretty good for you. I know, just another day in paradise, right? Well, here we are again with this Expedition. This is a 2000 model, and would you believe the window on the passenger side went probably the second time in the last 2 years, and we've tried to attempt this fix, and it seems like the problem here is when Ford designed this is the plate that goes on the bottom of the window, which is sitting right here, and this is all they got on there. They expect a window to sit in this little piece of metal here with a bolt on it with a little bit of glue. Most windows that have this on automobiles actually have a hole drilled in here and also into the glass, and they got a bolt in there or a pin, and this never comes loose from the glass. Well, unfortunately, when there's ice on this and the person hits the window down button, if this is already kind of compromised, the glue's dried out from the factory, these pull right out and this window will go all the way to the bottom. You gotta take the door panel off and fix it. So finally, I think we got the fix here figured out. We're gonna be using some Gorilla Glue. This stuff here seems to work pretty good. Other people have had pretty good success with it. Now there is some regular glue that you can buy that's for this, but I find that this stuff here works pretty good. The other stuff is basically the same stuff. It's just named differently, labeled differently from the factory. But no matter what you put in here, the problem is that little piece of metal they expect to hold that window in there. And there's a second one right there, and you can see where it pulled out of the glass there. And that's all they have in there. So we're going to put this back in there. We're going to put some glue on here, clean this out a little bit, and put some glue on that window there. There's a little paint mark I put there. This piece here slides right there. Kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see that or not up in there, but probably not. But then all we have to do is put these bolts back in here, and hopefully we'll fix this window. Now, when you go to take these out, these are 10 millimeter. You can slide this back and forth like this whole track, and you can get in here and get this one. You take these off and clean them, and glue them and put them back in. So that's really the only fix. You just got to get enough glue in here to make this kind of stay in there. And if you're wondering how to get this panel off, I have a video on YouTube on how to take this panel off. You gotta be careful because there's some hidden screws in here. I'll put a link in the bottom of the video here when I'm just about done to show you how to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out of here, clean them up, and put them back on. They're pretty easy to do. What you want to do, keep your window from falling down, is take a cloth or something, get the window all the way back up, and just kind of shove it in here and take out your little rubber track, which is right here, because it makes it easier to move that window around. And just kind of shove this rag down in there, and that'll keep this window up while you're gluing all of this. So let me go ahead and glue this in here and see if we can finish this up. All right, now there is one other thing here that's very important. After you get all your clips glued on there, make sure before you put all the panels back on, make sure you put the window all the way down up, because if you don't have this quite centered where it should be, if you put this all the way down, it may come off the track. It'll go sideways because this long rail you see right here actually is made to pivot a little bit as this window goes up and down on this track, because if you notice the window's guide is kind of sideways sort of. So make sure you do that, because if you don't, if you just put this on here when the window is up and you go to put it down, this track is too far, let's say to the left, when the window goes all the way down, one of these tracks are going to pop off, because you got to have this kind of centered right in the center. And I've got the key off, and I've already tried it here a minute ago, and it works just fine. So I made this mistake a couple years ago. I forgot to do that. So just so you know, make sure you have that track centered on the bottom of that glass. So you might want to experiment with it first before you put the glue on, and get you a black magic marker or something and kind of mark right where that track should be, where it should work best for you. So in a nutshell, just don't forget to do that. And also, one final tip here: get a little bit of lithium grease and go ahead and spray in these tracks, because if there's anything in there catching that window, it may be the reason it's popping off. It will keep this track on there, the window in the track, a lot better. Just go ahead and spray you know, some lithium grease all the way in through here. That way, this window will slide up and down a lot easier, and it'll also help to relieve the pressure on that glass so those clips don't slide off. So don't forget that. That will help you out a lot. All right, so we got our clips back on the window there, and there's our Gorilla Glue, and we got our bolts back on, and same thing with this side. And make sure your clip is able to grip that glass. You may have to take a pair of pinchers and kind of squeeze them a little bit. Test it before you glue it. It should go in there really snug and tight. That helps that glue to get a bite and keeps it on that glass. So we should be okay. I let it dry for about 24 hours or so to remind yourself not to use the window. Maybe just put a piece of duct tape over this switch on this side to let your passengers know. Then we should be okay. So if this happens to you, if your window just falls down, don't freak out. Just take your panel off and get in there and look at it, and do the best you can. But with Fords, especially these Expeditions, they have a horrible problem with this. Like I said earlier, the problem is they should have, to resolve this problem, to fix it the right way, they should have drilled a hole in the glass from the factory and had a hole through this clip to keep that glass in there. But leave it to some glue and metal to hold glass up. So whatever you're going to do. So there is the fix for that. So you might want to try that. And if you guys have any other way, any ideas, any better glue, let me know. But like I said, Gorilla Glue, they have really good success with that. And also they do have that glue from some of the manufacturers that is made especially for this, but basically it's the same stuff. So other than that, that'll be about it. We'll put the panel back on and we'll let her sit for a few days, and hopefully she'll be okay. So that's it from Expedition Central, I guess. So good luck with your windows, folks. Hopefully it won't happen to you before it gets cold. So until my next video, guys, I'll see you later.